After today's featured trade, a special report on how adjusting your expectations can drastically improve your trading. Hello, I'm Don Singletary. Welcome to the channel. Today's Trade of the Week starts right now. The S&P500 Micro Emini trades for $5 a point. Affordable trading. April 12th, 2022. At 2:11 in the afternoon, and we'll get started right now with the trade setup. You can see the market began at 9:30 and pretty much went down for the next 4 hours. Had some vacillations back and forth. The MACD crossed below the zero line and the green line below the red line, which suggests a strong downward trend after that midday lull I highlighted up there in yellow for you. So we got the sell signal, and now we go to the live screen. At 2:11 in the afternoon Eastern Time, I shorted one of the S&P500 Micro Eminis, $5 a point, at a price of $44.06 1/4. You can see my stop is up there, just 3 3/4 points away. That's $18.75. That's the maximum risk I chose to take on this trade. Now, why I put the stop only 4 points away is no mystical rocket science at all. You can see in the last 40 minutes this trade's dropped 20 points. I expect this trade to show me more down action in the trade. If it reverses, I'll go out and keep my losses very manageable, and that's a very important key to good trades. So now the trade's underway. I'm getting settled in here. I'm going to zoom in on the screen so we can take a better look at the trade here. I went in this trade at 2:11 p.m., you remember. It's pretty steady right now. Still trading 44.06, 44.05. You know, I'm between $0 and $5 up in the trade. It's a great beginning. And the fact that it hasn't turned around and tried to go back up in price is a very, very good sign at this particular point early in the trade. I think our drawdown was only like half a point, $2.50. And the more often you can avoid getting drawdown in trades, the better job you're doing of your trade selection. Patience will pay you a lot of money. And another warning, too, if you think you can try to guess price turnarounds, when you got a 4-hour trend like the one I showed you in this trade setup, the market's going down for 4 hours. Any guarantees it'll keep doing it? Of course not. But you got to go with the trend, and it's better to let the market tell you what it's doing than try to second guess the market about when it's going to turn around in price. You can go broke that way. In the 4 hours the market's been open, it's only turned up twice in 4 hours, and it lasted 20 minutes at a time. All the rest has either been level to down all day long. 4,400 is where we are, and that would put us up $31.25 in the trade. And you see we're only like 3 minutes into the trade here, and we're up a good bit. I keep taking my Tastyworks mouse and playing with that stop over there, trying to move it down. Look what happened. I've got a free trade now. What does that mean? Well, I shorted at 44.06 1/4, and now the worst thing can happen is I'm going to make about $8.75 on the trade. Now, nothing's free, but I call that a free trade because no money can come out of my account. I just readjusted with a zoom slide up there in the top right corner to kind of get a zoom in and get a better look at the trade here on the scale. And I'm trading down at 43.99 now. And the thing I always try to do from the moment I enter any trade, every time, all the time, all day, every day, is try to reduce risk during a trade. A lot of people think risk is defined before you take the trade, and they use fixed points for stops, and it doesn't allow them any flexibility. They're not allowed to think. They just react robotically to a technical indicator. And that's another way to go broke, by the way. So I'm moving that stop down and trading down at 43.97 right now. So I'm almost up $50 on the trade. And I just moved my stop down to 43.99.50. And as you can see right there, locked in 6 3/4 points. So the worst thing can happen on this trade. I make $33.75. So whatever happens, it's going to be a good day, right? Now, I took the Tastyworks mouse and I moved my stop back up about 1 point. I'm trying to keep it at least around 2 points. You know, you never know when this momentum is going to die and this thing could turn around on you. So you have to protect those unrealized gains. That's a new term for you. Unrealized gains are the money you're up in the trade, as are unrealized losses sometimes. The way you realize an unrealized gain is to click the mouse and put the money in the bank. I could do that right now at $399.50, and it can make around $40, $41 on this trade just by clicking the mouse. But what happens is I'm risking about 2 points. That's $10 I'm risking of the unrealized gain that I have. I'm risking only $10 of it to give myself a little room to try and see if this trade will move on down and make a little more money. But you notice I'm protecting that money, that unrealized gain. That's mine. Technically, it isn't till I click the mouse, but it's mine in my brain, and I'm going to keep it, or most of it. And if you're new to the channel, maybe you haven't been introduced to the Tastyworks mouse yet. I can hold that left mouse button down, put in the cursor over my stop order. I click and drag it. When I let go, lift my finger off the left button, it moves at stop automatically. This is the Tastyworks See It, Click It, Trade It screen. Everything's on one screen. And if you're new to trading, you'll know that that's a really nice feature to have, especially when you're first learning, because you have to go back and forth between so many screens in some software, but not in Tastyworks. So check out the broker link below. It'll tell you more about that. Get some more facts. Join our more than 12,500 subscribers. Hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell. They'll send you a text or an email every time we put up a new trading video. By the way, we've got over 125 free videos on the channel, so subscribe now. I'll tell you, the fastest way to lose your money is to quit thinking and quit practicing. That'll work every time. I've got 2 playlists for beginners. They're 4 10-minute videos in each one. There you go. There in the text below is a link that says beginners. I locked in $40 on the trade now. I think that's a high for having my stop down there. And I move it down one more time, 43.96 and a half. And I'm trading only 1 point away. There it goes. Stopped out of the trade right there with a nice profit. So that's a nice $47.50 in about 8 minutes. You know, the drawdown, I think it was only about $2.50 on this trade. And that's better than average. I got a little lucky, I have to admit. Maximum unrealized gain, we got most of that. And of course, if you try to always get all of it, you may get stopped out of a trade too soon. It takes a lot of practice to learn and make your best guess. And in the end, like I did today, sometimes you get a little bit lucky too. Now, 2 things coming up. I want to talk to you about your expectations in trading, but first, let's have a little bit of fun. I'm not quite through with this trade yet. Now, come on, you know you do this. After the trade, you look back at the chart and you try to see if you did all the right things. And then you have the genius in hindsight. You can see everything you should have done, but the only problem was during the trade you couldn't tell the future, and now you know the past is certain. This chart is about 20 minutes, 19 minutes, I think, after the trade. I got in at 211, got out at 219, and I got in at 44.06 and out at 43.96 and 3/4. And you see the about 15 minutes, 19 minutes after the trade, the market's moved back up to 43.99.50. So I guess I could find some self-validation in that. Although I really know it doesn't matter because I did what I did and whatever happens is going to happen now. So don't beat yourself up about it. This one actually makes me look good, but that's only good luck because I can't pretend that I knew what the market was going to do next at 219 when I exited the trade. And neither can you. That's just part of trading. You know, there have been almost 1.5 billion of the Micro Eminis traded. since they were invented in 2019. Before them, you had to trade the S&P 500 like we did today at $50 a point. But the Micro E-minis are 1/10 size, so we can trade at $5 a point. And it's really difficult when your adrenaline is screaming and you're $300 behind 30 seconds into a trade. That's what can happen when you're trading $50 a point. It's like high diving. You don't want to make your first dive at 500 feet or you'll probably die. And so it has a lot to do with your expectations. I promised you at the beginning of today's video, I wanted to talk about expectations and how they can, well, frankly, they can kill your enthusiasm, or with the right expectations, you know what's in store for you and you're prepared to do the work, to do the practice, and to learn the things you need to learn to become good enough at it to sustain it. Now, the thing about trading is there's a great speedometer that tells you if you're getting it right or not. And right is different for each individual trader. And that big speedometer to tell how you're doing is your account balance. It should be going up, not down. It may go up and down a little bit along the way, almost certainly will. But over time, with practice, you can learn to keep it going up and up and up, and you'll still have dips once in a while during that. I want to tell you a story as I leave today's video about the founder of Amazon. Jeff Bezos told a story in a speech he made about a friend of his, and it went like this. Now, I'm quoting Jeff Bezos now. He said, "A close friend recently decided to learn to do a perfect freestanding handstand. No leaning against the wall, not for just a few seconds, but Instagram good. She decided to start her journey by taking a handstand workshop at her yoga studio. She then practiced for a while, but wasn't getting the results she wanted. So she hired a handstand coach. Yes, I know what you're thinking, but evidently this is an actual thing that exists, a handstand coach. In the very first lesson, the coach gave her some wonderful advice. Most people, he said, think that if they work hard, they should be able to master a handstand in about 2 weeks. The reality is that it takes about 6 months of daily practice. If you think you should be able to do it in 2 weeks, you're just going to end up quitting." Well, that's kind of what happens to a lot of traders. Their expectations are that they expect to learn it in 2 weeks. I'm not saying it's going to take you 6 months before you can make any money either, but it doesn't happen overnight, and it takes a good bit of practice and work and thinking. I do not understand trading trainers like myself that tell people they should detach their brain and all their emotions, all their ability to think and problem solving, all their experience, and smother all their emotions, and they'll become a perfect trader like a machine. Well, that's a big myth. It just absolutely is not true. But what is true is this kind of trading, and you see I exhibit it many times here on the channel. It's so fun. It's really, really nice to dress in your pajamas, click a mouse, and make a bunch of money. Everybody enjoys that. But if you want to avoid losing your money, it's going to take a little work and a little practice. So remember, handstands. And I love that Tastyworks software I use here on the channel. Look at the links below the video, the text down there, to find out more about it. And I hope you will do me a favor. If you don't mind, please click the like button if you want to see more videos like the one that you just seen today. I tally those up, and it helps me stay on subject to bring you videos that are the most helpful for you. So I appreciate your help with that. A lot of great fun today, and I think it was an interesting trade. You could learn a thing or two, and I always do. I still do, every time I trade. I'm Don Singletary. I hope every day is a payday for you. And thank you.